Well, les beaux gosses, welcome to this new episode of my Maple Story progression, slow progression of my Canon Master to um, Liberation. So this first episode, or chapter 1, will be just me progressing through Maple Story's like introduction to level 1 to 100 and doing some small little thing that I feel will be useful throughout our progression. I've been playing MapleStory for quite a while now. I think, wait, I won't say it because then you're gonna say I'm an old man, but my account is already pretty much established. I have like almost 9k Legion. So this is not, or I don't think it will be a struggle progression. I think that at least until Lucid, it's gonna be pretty much smooth sailing. So this won't necessarily be a guide, but it's a way to journal my progression. So if someone that wants to make Hanier and join the monkey militia wants to use it as a guide and follow through to see what I did and how I did progress, then you're free to. So now I'm just going to complete the introduction mission, and as soon as I'm done and I have my first job, we'll be right back. First job, here we have it. I'll try to show my combat power as we progress. That way it gives you an idea of how strong I am. So we're currently sitting at just below 7,000. And yeah, what Canyon is pretty cool because it has access to some interesting beginner basics like Master of Swimming and Master of Organization, which gives which expands our inventory slot for free, pretty much. And usually it would cost like something like 24 million mesos or even more. So just knowing that we get 12 slots, and I think it upgrades at level 2 for 24 slots for free, it's pretty good. Now I'll just be doing my link skills. One of MapleStory's core or most important progression tools. I already have quite a lot of characters, and I'll be using them to help me train and boss. Right now, the focus will mostly be training until I hit 260. So this is just a quick overview of the link skills I be using for pretty much all of my training session. Now for the second important progression tool of MapleStory, Legion. I already told you I'm pretty near to 9k, and I hope that with this character reaching 260, I should hit 9k or be really close to it. But this will be useful because I have different presets, one for bossing and the other one for training. I know it's not perfect and I could optimize it, but if we're being honest, I feel like I'm missing probably like 2%, 1% in XP, 2% in normal damage, and probably like 1 crit damage, which are loss that I don't really mind losing. So this is the page I'll be using for um, training. With all of this done, I guess now it's time to get our second job advancement after a quick grind session. Now that we're level 30, we can finally get our second job advancement. There used to be a quest where we had to collect 30 marbles, glass marbles, if I remember correctly. But now we just have to talk to our instructor and we finally get our second job advancement. Just 4 more to go. There's a lot of things we could do to progress after level 30 to hit our third job at level 60. But personally, I like doing the team dungeon because they give you equipment, money, and overall, they're a lot more chill experience than actually grinding those 30 levels. The first team dungeon I love doing is the Fairy Academy. This one takes probably like 20 minutes, 30, and in that amount of time, it gives you close to the 30 levels. I think I finished at like level 59, and it gives you equipment, a face accessory, and a cape that you can pretty much use until level 100, where you get better gear. So after finishing this team dungeon, we're sitting at just above 10,000 combat power, which is not that high, but compared to where we started, this is quite the upgrade. Next, some people might think that 2 level is not too long to farm, but I like to do another team dungeon to help my friend the penguins up north and get myself closer to level 70, which gives us the opportunity to go in an important map that will give us the start, or that will allow us to start our familiar badge collection journey. So familiar badges are something that are pretty crucial for late game bosses, but they take hours and hours to farm. But there's some small badges that are pretty easy to get. For example, the starter badge that only requires 4 monster cards to collect, which is not too bad because there's some you have to collect like I think like 12, which takes sometimes days to get them all. But the one we really want to get is the mineral badge one that can be farmed at pretty much any level, but the monsters there are around level 70. So while we're still low level, I feel like going there to farm and level up at the same time as collecting monster card is killing 2 birds with 1 stone. So that's why I like doing this team dungeon, to boost myself up to level 70 and then start my farming grind. Because 3% of ID, while it might not seem like a big number, but it stacks a lot, and sometimes, well, most of the time, when facing late game bosses, you want to have as much ID as you can. So this is why even those small 3% are crucial power. So now that we're level 70, there's 2 things that can be done. The first, like I told you, is starting to grind the mineral badge in Vernemind, or you can always go to Orbis to just grind the levels until level 90, follow the Maple guide, and reach level 100 a lot faster. Just before going there, we'll just get our third job, and as you can see, right now we're sitting at almost 16,000, which is pretty good, I think. I don't even know. Combat power is such a strange indicator because it gives you a number, but you don't really know how does it compare to bosses or mobs in your level range. I think it's just more of an idea of how strong you are compared to other player, but even then, I feel like this is not too accurate, but hey. So now, with our third job in hand, and our level at the perfect spot, I'll be grinding in the zone until I hit level 80, or I get all of the familiar cards for my first badge. So after quite a while, we finally managed to get all of the cards, which unlocks our first familiar badge. And while we may not be level 80, there's one last team dungeon that we can do to help us level up to level 80, and we pass that level. It is the Afterland. The Afterland gives us the best in slot totem if we don't count events, but it is quite the long team dungeon, and I would recommend following a guide to understand how to do the team dungeon. But I think that after this, we'll be pretty close, if not at level 100. If we're not, I'll just farm for a little bit, and we should be able to hit a level 100, which would mark the end of this episode. So we're finally done with the Afterland, but unfortunately, we're not even level 100. We're not even level 90 actually, and we can't even use the totem that we just got. But it's okay, this game is a marathon rather than a sprint, and things will go wrong most of the time. But this is not too bad. 11 level or 10 level at this point in the game are pretty much the same. And so after a quick grind session, we finally hit level 102. I got a bit distracted, and I managed to hit some good runes at some good time. So I stayed a little bit more, but we can finally complete our quest and get our 4th job advancement. We're now sitting just above 27,000, and a lot of the game is being unlocked to us at level 102. For the next part, it's gonna be really interesting because be it new bosses, new dailies, new grinding spot, and new equipment, all of them are available after level 100, and you'll be surprised to see how quickly we can progress from level 100 to 200. But that will be for the next chapter. So see you next week, and take care.